going to see what the choices are here for Shao Ti. Kurtrus is interesting, just getting bodies on the board.
Yeah, it's kind of good because he's used a whole tusk and a dagger now, so it is reasonably buffed. Rakara can help you scam a couple of wins sometimes if you're playing against a deck that plays huge minions and just isn't prepared for it, right? Like, doesn't think about the potential of you having it in your hand. You can scam a couple out, but not really the case against Hunter, I would say. Zyrella not really offering a great deal. You do, of course, have to think about the hero powers on top of all of this as well, but I do think that Kurtrus just ends up being the choice here.
Yeah, because this is going to be swing number 4, right?
It says committing.
Fine, get rid of the Thalanos off the board, remove the spell damage, but now because of the extra taunts and the weapon being equipped, is looking pretty good. And there is that Mixologist in hand to be able to maybe generate a damage focus potion, right? To maybe just push the Fine a little bit, because Shao Ti is on 12 health right now.
Yep. We'll be picking up a little bit of armor from this Kurtrus, which I'm presuming is going to come down this time.
Yeah, with no card draw, there's not even really a great option to try and cycle into something, you know, like a big rogue turn, right? So, yeah, just going to have to be Kurtrus.
Another factor that I'm sure Zhao Ti was considering is just how perfectly these bats do line up into the aliens.
Yeah.
You have not seen any of so far this game. They're always going to start coming down at some point throughout the course of a Hunter game, especially when they have that Niall hero power rolling. At some point, you're just going to see that alien encounters in your Discover pool, and you're going to have discovered so many times that it costs 0, so you're going to be picking it up. So Zhao Ti back, stable, in control of the board for the first time, really, since that big EMG push that he had a few turns ago that was cleared up very, very easily by the Sylvanas. Stabilized the health a little bit with the 5 armor, which is a really, really big deal.
Here comes the Mixologist, though. There's deal 3 damage, if they want it. Oh, deal 2, deal 3.
Right, short headphones.
I believe. Which should be pretty nice to be able to clear up these bats.
Yeah, the absolute dream pickup in this scenario.
Yeah, getting to push the damage, getting to swing with the weapon again, and just aiming that weapon face, just keeping the pressure high.
Finally, an Eat the Imp picks up for Zhao Ti. Something to actually start some explosive miracle type turns with the card draw.
Oh, Web Weaver as well.
Yeah, that's better.
Don't think the Wisp draws though. No, it does not. The Phoenix does.
And there is a Shadow Step, right?
I've been happy. Eating soup.
Wisp is in play for the Imp though. There's the Cultist map, there's the second Wisp, now the Maulers. These are all the cards you would have loved to have been seeing in the early game.
Stuff on my diet that I'm allowed to
start juicing those asteroids, and he will get the EMG down to 0 with an extra card draw as well from the Wisp. Would love to hit a couple of asteroids here just to take away the chip damage. Want some taunt from the EMG, ideally, and then maybe we've got a game on our hands.
Okay.
Okay!
Yeah, okay, that's something. That works. Wisp as well, just remove the 2-1, or try and remove the 2-1.
Now Wisp, asteroid to minion.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Well, here comes Rangari Scout here from Definition, though, so that is going to be...
second scout off the top, which means the spell is in the pupil. Yeah, the spell's in the pupil. Which means that is just straight up 9 sending face. The AoE damage will take out the taunt. And the face damage from the weapon will clear it all up. We'll give it a little time to catch up on the animations, but trust me, that's what happened. Just believe me.
Sottle the Oracle knows what's going to happen before it does. But yeah, looking mighty good here for Definition. Going to be able to, I was going to say easily take game one. Things definitely went very well for him with those early game decisions as well. But Shouty was just giving us a glimpse of the
kind of deck sometimes. The minions that you've drawn off your Keleseth. So you don't need to find much from your deck to fill out your turns. But I guess Shouty is extending that logic even further and going, I'm fine. I've got plays forever with the way this hand is going to pan out. So I'm just going to take the Ysera.
Yeah, instead of looking at the 1, 2, and 3, it's like, well, I've already got one 9-drop, and what if I had another 9-drop?
I mean, that is when you have a 3-drop and an Elise in your hand, that does set you up until turn 6 if you want to do it that way, right? You can choose to just play it out in that method. So I mean,
the curve's kind of getting there. The Minion Hunter, I think this is called.
Is what I mean.
I remember this place well.
But yeah, look at how this is actually going to pan out and the early options available for Death Knight. Like, this Death Knight's early game is generally a bit more defensive or setting up for late game, right? It's not like it's really going to aggro you down a lot of the time, so especially with these options from Shouty, so I do like it.
The first of many Elise custom locations I'm sure we will be seeing throughout this tournament. Job done. And guess what, chap? We have the technology. Oh, it's here. 5/5 copied Raptors with Rush, pretty good option for this
and
matchup.
if your opponent's playing minions, this is generally the classic location, right? Like probably one of the most common combinations you're after. This Blob of Tar is a pesky minion to deal with, though. The Raptors are going to help out with the worst of it.
It's not quite Sludge Belcher from back in the day, but it's certainly in that neighborhood.
My will shall lead us to
Yeah, very good answer to it, though, right? This location, absolutely perfect.
Shouty just considering how these trades want to happen. Okay, gonna keep the Elise.
Yeah, it was just a quick one, wasn't it? Between 1 damage on the 2. What's the 2/1 now versus getting the Elise damage? But I think I like keeping the 1 a bit healthier. The other one isn't really gonna do too much. It can be hero powered down, for example, or leeched, but is that really gonna be a biggest problem?
Yep. Does play around Coin Husk perfectly by, taking 1 extra damage on a 2 health minion and keeping a 5 health minion healthy, right? Like if he'd done it the other way, kept a 2 health minion, that still would get shot by the leeches. And he'd just have a 3/4 here instead of a 3/5. It's a small optimization.
Tidepool could now be considered a better option because there is already a mixologist in hand that can even be played this turn, so could start at least trying to put the potion in there. But you can see the sort of a wild difference between this Hunter deck having the early access to Discover versus not, right? Mainly through the Niall. And the Shouty just has to play in a different way because you just don't have all of these, like, oh, I'll just pick a card I want every turn and draw it.
Okay, is offered Neri and Grifter. Well, so for the combo win condition that you sometimes look for against the Death Knight, if you don't get big boards early, those are the 3 key aspects that you're looking at right there. 6 damage from the Grifter. Get it in the Typal Pupil for multiple copies. Use the Neri to double it up. Massive damage output. Can't take all 3 of them. Just decides to go with the Pupil as the most flexible option, as you were saying, with that Mixologist potion already loaded up and ready to go. And guess what? Once again, Raven.
That's just definitely what 4 euros.
I didn't quite see what it was. Oh, it's
What?
that!
What could
Oh my
it be?
goodness! It's like we're living in the future.
Okay, well, here comes Xavier's. Nothing screaming at me here, to be honest.
No, I did just dump some corpses on the Pterodax on the previous turn, so Exarch Maladar not quite as powerful as it could be.
Giants playable now?
Giant's always great, yeah, but the Dark Gift it has, not really very synergistic with the Giant. You kind of want the size of the minion, that's what you're kind of in there for.
Yeah.
It's just a generic cheap 8/8. Can I interest you in closing your eyes and playing an Incendius?
Yes. Especially with that location.
Yep.
Looks pretty nice to me. Again, the Raptors just coming in clutch. Now there's a double Incendius to buff what's in the deck. It's going to be very, very nice indeed. And one of the ways that Shouty can close this game out, or at least help, whilst not having that strong Discover opening early, because suddenly the Ziliax, Ysera, there's Bob, and...
So what if I roll something down on my book? I'm not just about the book. It's not too much.
Shouty is in his bag right now. There is some thinking occurring because step one, what are the trades, right? You could make an argument for trading the leeches, you could make an argument for trading the 3/3, you could make an argument for trading the 4/4 and 1 leech. But then if you really want to get in your bag, how about the trades don't happen at all because it gives my opponent corpses and buffs their deck in a way that isn't necessarily powerful? So I think, yeah, taking the full time there to think that through, then still ending up on what I would say was the obvious plan A trades of just taking out the husk and one of the leeches. But I do think you have to consider, what am I doing to Exarch Maladar? What am I doing to Corpse Explosion if I make all of these trades happen? Because you always have to remember, leeches can't necessarily kill themselves.
I've been streaming that entire day.
These incentives are kind of chilling, aren't they? Like, the big one is, which is very scary. Normally, even if it was a single incendius, if you can't kill it, the turn after your opponent plays it, you're feeling pretty bad. But the fact there's already a double buff, and it looks like there's going to be at least a third buff, is very scary for definition indeed.
Jag hoppar i lager.
Oh, well, that's going to help. Okay, well,
yeah,
now.
weirdly, this is...
Yeah, well, now.
Okay, unless Definition dies, I was going to say, weirdly, this is kind of good news for Definition, because those don't get to get buffed again by the Incendius that is hanging around on the board.
Well, the first one was fine. The second one, questionable. Third one, oh no. And then it stops with Arenas. It's okay, I guess. Oh, Rengari.
Does just find Shaladrasil as well, which, with the Ysera hand he has, might represent game-winning damage a little quicker than Ranieri's Scout does.
Yeah, we can put some of that into the Tide Pool as well, right? So it's all...
Right.
There's just a couple of routes. I think the Tide Pool has... Is it all three or two spells left? Oh no, they didn't play the potion.
Yeah, I think it was discovered on 6, and then Incendius was played on 7, right? It was discovered on 6, and Mixologist was played on that same turn to take the potion, and then they just played Incendius on 7, so yeah, I don't think it's got anything in it.
Well, they end up going with Mixologist for just another potion. And we're seeing the... We don't have to show the card there, as it's done it for us, as Shouty plays the deal 3, give the health to the minions on board. And again, makes this Incendius progressively more difficult to deal with.
Getting some milk.
9 corpses, so this looks like trade in a ghoul for 10 corpses, drop the Exarch, pray to Lord Fireack.
Sometimes it's what you've got to do. Okay. Okay. I mean, fine.
We're gonna need some clears here, though, Fireack, if you can help us out. Nope.
Oh, it's just, I was looking at if there's a way, like, press Discover first, see if you get a spell, and then you have the Tide Pool option. with the second potion, and then obviously play it and go again, see if that gets you anywhere. But actually, just Bob Freeze face.
If you're not going to win the game immediately, Bob Freeze is just so
Peel the
disgusting
shields.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think peel the shields and then just send it all face, double procking any of the... there's 2 eruptions left in the deck. So procking some more of them.
So there is a tiny bit of cards in an order being done here from Xiaoti, because there were some lethal outs available. I'm not even necessarily sure whether the lethal outs are worth checking, but it is, for example, what we've led towards here, right, which is Hero Power Grifter, maybe you get Steel, and then you have a Wind Fury 5/5, which is 10 more damage going face here, which is huge, right? I feel like Bob Freeze is winning the game all the time. Oh, Xiaoti is going for it, though.
Wait, how much is that then? 2 for 2. Yeah, one mana off, right?
Is 1 mana off?
Yeah.
He now has to free. Wait. I think cards in an order has happened.
Yeah, that got interesting, I'm going to say. What has happened here?
What has happened here? Genuine question. Oh, no. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. Oh, Xiaoti! I gassed you up so much! The CN glaze was real, and you've blown it all up in my face!
Not the rope-a-dope. That, it was brutal, because again, we were talking about it. But Bob Freeze, especially with the setup that was available, there was 1 potion played, another deal 3 potion in hand, which can proc the pupil for the turn, the turn after, whenever, and then the quest in every single matchup. And as we saw earlier when we saw the Rogue play, Rogue wants to be a bit aggressive, wants to draw a lot of cards, put a lot of stuff on the board. So I think if Definition survives 10 turns against Rogue, it's kind of a winning game anyway, right? So not really needing to have the quest. We'd rather have the extra card in the mulligan.
That's a great way of putting it, yeah, because Rogue, not a deck that can go forever. There's a couple of...
What? Like the parrot said.
That's a great way of putting it, yeah, because Rogue, not a deck that can go for... now knows he cannot go all in this turn. He has to be looking to create a board where he can just slam Incendius on 7 and then move forward from there. Try and preserve as much damage from after that Incendius as possible, because you want those eruptions to clear the board for you so the minions don't start soaking asteroids.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bit tricky, because with double minion on board here for Definition now, and just looking in the hand, the shield block in there for some more card draw as well as for Glory too. There's just a lot of access to more tools for Definition.
Right, Cinnamon.
And this board is kind of preemptively already dealt with, if he wants it to be, right?
Yep.
I would imagine this is just a For Glory open, right? Start with that, just draw 2 cards before you do anything else. It's a little bit cheaper than the shield block, even though, of course, you will want the armor. Is that into another one? Oof, okay.
Choosing to just go Bob Freeze is super interesting, pushing the damage. It does, of course, limit the board space for Xiaoti to be able to do any of those big Miracle-style turns with the Web Weaver, but you could also just kill the Web Weaver, and then the Web Weaver's not there anymore, and then that also limits the ability to do that. Plus, I think you have to appreciate that your opponent is just looking to play Incendius here. Like, that's what they probably want to do with their turn the most.
Do you think that's why he froze, though? Because it's like, well, you're not going to proc Web Weaver with Incendius.
Yeah.
If you do anything else, well, I've got loads of health on the board of minions, and I've got, what, 32 health. So, I think Definition probably thought, well, Xiaoti's just realistically can't kill me this turn. If I freeze, and they play Incendious, fine, then you can move on from it, and he's not drawing any additional cards. There are, of course, the Shadow Stepped cards in hand that he is aware of, but maybe Definition's just like, okay, if you start doing all the card draw, then you're not going to do all the explosions from Incendious, so maybe this was just a good heads-up play.
I think that's all very fair, yeah, and I think the one thing I'd add on top of that is that he also gets to say, well, I pushed 8 this turn and 12 next turn if you do that, so...
It's looking to be like push and brawl. Again, I wonder if he even needs brawl. He has shield slam in hand.
Yeah, he just gains 20 instead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And just slam the Incendious, so that's not stacking, right? And just push the rest of the damage to face. Still got
like
the copy and discover a spell as well.
I like it a lot.
Oh no, he's gonna end up trading. Okay. I'm a little bit surprised the shield slam wasn't just thrown out.
All forms of life will be.
Oh!
You interested in more armor?
Yes, please.
Now with Incendious gone. I mean, you know the rogue maths more than I do, no doubt, but it seems like a lot of health, Sol, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 62, 59 plus 3 on board. That's a large number. He's got 10 damage from eruptions, which he wants to get done first, just because it removes the minions. He has. We can go back 2 remaining cards, but I believe the steps are used. Yeah, the steps are used.
Yep,
so he has. Two more Maulers to go in there on top of 2 asteroids with the Blood Mage. Still not really adding up to the number he needs. So it's looking like some kind of Maestro Miracle might be necessary.
I was just about to say, do we need to start talking about Maestro at this point? It might well be the case. Yeah, Shao-Ti just gonna load it all in and say, let's go. It's the emptiest the board's gonna be, right? Definition, at least on camera, seems very comfortable with this turn.
You can start to see the panic spreading across Zhao Ti's face.
Did everything even get
Not
played?
too many
It
cards.
did, okay.
I think
cool,
so.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. Should be fine. Yep.
I will say,
believe now
I'm
that-
just a slight worry after the other game, that's all. Just
That
a
one
slight
remaining
one.
card, yep, is an asteroid hiding in the deck, so he didn't even get the full draw. He needed this board to stick, be able to push, and I think this is further heads up from Definition on the previous turn. Might have been 2 turns ago, actually, where he just went armor gain into and held the brawls, right? I think recognizing that if he just gained enough armor, Zhao Ti was going to have to stick a board to win the game, and then by not playing the brawls on those smaller boards and just ignoring it for 1 turn, using the Bob for a 2nd turn, he preserves the brawls in hand and is able to play the game out quite comfortably by clearing these final desperate pushes that Zhao Ti is going to want to go for.
And I don't think any of these are doing it, are they?
Choices.
Not when
No,
you're
I
expecting
mean-
more armor gain from Definition, right? That's the problem. We could
Right.
talk about plans, but it's not like Definition's going to pass the next 10 turns or anything, right? So I think
Nope.
that's the problem. There's still the shield slam in hand for Definition. Still got a brawl as well, if needed. So Definition's still quite flexible on ways to deal with cards. Even this Maestra could just go away right now. I've just lost visuals of the hand for a second. We'll try and get that back ASAP. But was that a misorder then? Or did I just miss?
No, it
see
wasn't.
the turn?
It wasn't playable the other way around. You had to discount.
Oh, sorry.
The Phoenix
Yes, of course.
To
The
play
Phoenix
it.
wasn't right. Yeah.
Yeah. I did think the same thing.
Yeah, I
but
just
then
had a moment
realised-
there, but yeah, there it is. Big Dragon hits the board. Definition's gonna win 3-0 for Definition, and
The point to me,
what, 6 health immediately. Sometimes it has 12 health if it's doubled early. So yeah, you want some chunky minions to get through those things is probably his thinking.
yep. And Tansoku probably looking for an IL at this point. Obviously something that you want to find pretty early just to get all that card
Nah,
draw
this sucks.
going.
I don't want to see
Doesn't
this in
quite
the top
find it
line.
though. Picks up the
Actually,
bird watching to maybe pick it up later though.
sorry.
Time
Let's
to
just,
keep an eye on these minions for me. Maybe just so.
Just see my game, maybe. What would that be? Then I'm gonna choose category, of course, if I choose something. No.